Hey guys, I'm so excited today. I'm doing my first video, at least on my channel, with Mobile Gamer, and we're here to talk about Young Avengers, because I made this video over here. The definition of meh okay for Young Avengers. I didn't mean they suck. They don't suck. They have this, like, Super Saiyan point where they get to, and then it's an issue. And me and Mobile are in the same kind of bracket, where we're facing similar teams. So I think it'd be beneficial for us to tell you about our experiences with Young Avengers and how it's affected our wars. So, I guess, how you feeling about this team, Mr. Mobile?
It really depends on the power levels. They scale well, and a lot of the counters that we came up with don't work once they hit a certain threshold. And I've experienced it, and I've had a lot of matches that I barely won. And this, like, you got Zemo X Factor. That doesn't work at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this.
It becomes risky. It becomes risky.
Oh, does it ever? So this what we're playing in the background is a 100. Sorry, not 100. This is a punch across, but boosted with war buffs. So we're gonna show the difference that the war rooms make in a live war, and the difference boosts make. So you'll see right here.
Oh, nothing cleared. Nothing cleared.
Nothing cleared.
Oh, nothing cleared. Oh my God. That's and then nothing stuck. And wow, nothing stuck.
I didn't even try the Squirrel Girl. I went for the weaker target, thinking maybe I can kill her. But with that defense up sticking, my long shot just doesn't have a prayer. And you see me panicking right here, checking it out. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. See, the problem here is if you go for Kate, and I'm not sure what you're gonna do here, is then that all that damage might be a waste of time if once the Squirrel Girl has her way and gets rid of all that and heals her back up. And Squirrel Girl takes so many turns, now you're stuck behind the taunt. How are you going to remove that taunt, right? Now, the Disrupted helps a lot. Now, if you can get rid of the taunt, look at that. It's all gone.
Yeah.
Wow, it's all gone.
It's all gone. And furthermore, so I didn't clear that damage check. And my long shot was 5 red stars here. He's now 6 red star, but it doesn't make a difference. And then the damage America Chavez puts out is no joke. A big America Chavez changes this team if she gets her double tap, which I think she's going to do here. But you're seeing all that damage come in. If you don't clear the damage check, all the soft counters that we have, out the window, gone. Your X Factor Zemo. I know you had Secret Avengers, but you haven't tried it in a live war yet. So.
No, I'm scared to try it because you don't. I mean, in competitive wars, you don't want an 80% chance that you're going to win. You want a sure shot. You don't want it. The risk is a 20% chance that you might not win is just not worth it. And so there's a lot of matchups that are just you're not going to take because of that.
Oh, that's exactly. There's that magic number, right? That 24, where if you go over, and he doesn't, you lose. And let me tell you, if one of these big, super krakeny, blubbery enemy of the people alliances like Mutiny loses to the small underdog good guys like Super Trooper, it's gonna be a problem for that alliance.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I did a punch across, and it was a larger size team, and I've got video footage of it also, probably like 900 versus 900, and it was my Eternals, and I used Hela, and actually I don't think I would have won if I didn't take Hela. I did Hela Loki, and it was an interesting matchup, and it was, the whole match was sketch. Like, the whole match was like, man, if I don't kill Ms. Marvel and then I don't kill Squirrel Girl, this is not going to go well. Like, if you don't have that focus on Ms. Marvel first, then you're wasting time, you know what I mean? Because Squirrel Girl is just running circles around you, and it was a scary match. And if you don't get someone to drop, they're going to come back, and the second tap will be easier, but still, you don't want to have a 2-tap. I mean, I feel like they're a very good team, and you're going to talk about it, but probably the only true real counter to them is Weapon X. And I mean, I can think of a million other places I'd rather use my Weapon X, right? I mean, Weapon X is large, and so it does matter. And I think we're in this window right now before Dark Hunters, and how far do I have to upgrade my Dark Hunters to counter the Heroes for Hires that I'm seeing, right? Because right now Heroes for Hire is pretty much allocated for Weapon X. except for in Reactor. And then, once globals are down, maybe we start using Infinity Watch. But your Weapon X can only be placed in, used in so many places. You don't want to be using Weapon X on Young Avengers when it really should be allocated to Dormammu and Heroes for Hire.
That's absolutely right, and I'm glad you brought up Dormammu, because after this event, I think you're going to be seeing a lot more Dormammus. I'm talking about the payout from the what would you call it? The mirror event? Was that what it was called?
I don't know, the Stark event. I have no idea, but there's a lot of stuff going out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of teal gear being floated around, and so we're going to see some more Dormammu. So this team, as you see, my super beefy Young Avengers, they're a work in progress. They'll get there. At a certain point, the only sure win is this Weapon X team. For now, we'll see what Dark Hunters do, because they said Dark Hunters wouldn't beat this team, but they also said a lot of things in the past that have been proven wrong. But then you have pretend this is Dormammu. I'm not nearly as whaley as some people think. I'm nowhere near Dormammu. Pretend he's Dormammu right here. A Dormammu with even an astonishing X-Men team or a Brotherhood team or whatever pulls a big team. Whether it pulls an Eternals or it pulls Weapon X, Dormammu pulls a lot of teams. So if you're facing people with Dormammu, your war matchmaking math goes out of whack, especially if you throw in Young Avengers. Because then, like you said, you have your Eternals team. You can sub Hela in here, and then you can make that work. But then you also need to worry about these Heroes for Hire eventually, right? Like you said, Infinity Watch can beat them. It's a lot more difficult with globals up, and especially if you're seeing, 1 million powered Heroes for Hire. So it becomes really sketchy, especially during the race when you're trying to be as efficient as possible, and you're also trying to make sure you have enough, X beats Y teams ready to go, because you don't know what else is hidden during the race. So I think Young Avengers are changing the math of war matchmaking.
And actually, I kind of wish that. I never really liked the way Heroes for Hire was brought to the game and the way their mechanics worked. I really just thought it was very punishing, the way that they take so many turns at the beginning of the match, and you don't even get to take a turn. And I have to say that I actually prefer the power levels of Young Avengers, and I'm actually quite content. If they're going to choose to introduce defensive war teams, which nobody likes, I kind of like the way Young Avengers is, to be frank with you. I mean, I wouldn't want them to be any stronger, and yet I feel like they're strong enough if you put the resources into it.
Oh, I agree completely. I actually think they're great for the game, because it adds a choice for war, which I want to bring up now to you. Dark Avengers are going to rebalance the math I was just talking about. So you have a choice between offensive and defensive, because I think if you take your Dark Hunters up to beat the Heroes for Hire like we talked about, it's going to be a big investment. So you almost have to pick, for this patch. Do I want 1 million powered Young Avengers on defense? Do I want to have an 800k Dark Hunters on offense to kind of fix that? And the priorities of your alliance and your goals for offense and defense. So for me, I mean, you can see my Ghost Rider and my Elsa were not gear tier 15 prior to this patch. And you can see my Young Avengers.
So you're doing the exact same thing me. I'm going very heavy on Dark Hunters. I mean, I'm a flight deck, right? You know what I mean? I'm in the flight deck. So my defense, it needs to be reasonable, to at least do something maybe. But it's really not, I'm not being dependent on to get defensive wins. Well, what I am dependent on is to be on at the start of the war and get my 8 attacks done, within that first hour. And so Dark Hunters will help do that. And Young Avengers is not a part of that conversation for me. And so I think that depends on where you are in your alliance and how seriously you take alliance war and defensive wins. The other thing too is defensive teams eventually get counters to them one way or another, and they have a narrow shelf life. Like if we go back to like Red Skull, right? Yeah. They're only going to do their thing for so long, and what is going to be the next team that's introduced that maybe completely destroys Young Avengers? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I'm going to counter that when I bring up Mercs. Because, again, there's this
Mercs.
This alliance full of jerks that has this really crazy Merc combinations they like to throw at us. And it really ruins our war currency collection rate. So there's certain teams that, the full cookie cutter team gets erased out. Does Young Avengers have hybrid room? is there room for hybrids? What do you think about that? Because obviously America shot
For sure, Chavez. I mean, there's a lot of room for hybrids on this team, but Chavez in particular does wonders, and really can throw. I mean, if nothing else, I think that was the thing about this patch is people could, ignore Kate and Echo and still get a lot of value out of Chavez and the existing ones in the game.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about. I made a video with Mobile on his channel about the current event. Make sure you go check that out. He was so generous.
We're going to talk about the issues.
Yeah, the issues.
Not exploits, not cheats. Issues. We're going to talk about the issues.
Yes, and if any of you want to DM me some more lovely comments, they're always open.
Oh, God.
Feel free.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, let me close this. Oh. Is this one? Nope, this one. All right, I'm not as official as Mobile Gamer, but here we are at the like, share, subscribe screen. And I'm also going to obviously point that over to Mobile. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe everything he does. Obviously, if you're watching me, you probably know about him. He's the GOAT. So make sure you go show him his channel some love. And yeah, wait, you got anything you want to say, Mr. Mobile?
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Hey, thank you so much for coming. All right, guys, take care, have fun, and I'll see you all later. Peace.